So we were very, very pleased to welcome once again royalty, culinary royalty. How about that? Have I said it right? Yeah. Amanda Hamilton to the show. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, and thanks for that fantastic build-up. Yeah, I hope I live up to my billing.
I'm sure you do. For anybody that hasn't seen you yet, Amanda, I mean, you've done a huge amount of TV on satellite and terrestrial channels, haven't you, with various different programmes?
Yeah, I'm this morning's nutritionist just now, which is great. I did probably a 10-year stint on BBC and still dipping in and out of lots of health programmes. But my day job, if you like, my real job is as a nutritionist. So that's, and I've written books and things like that. So yeah, it's been a busy old decade.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair play to you as well. So I'm fascinated that canned food is the new fresh. I might have gone a little bit of a step too far, but we're talking about canned food in quite a positive light today.
Well, we are, and I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that people don't already know this. I mean, everyone knows that canned food, yes, it's Canned Food Week this week, so we're trying to get the message out that it's not only just about convenience and budget, because the sales are growing really quite significantly, not surprisingly given our economic state. But I think also finally the message is starting to get through that it's really healthy, because at time of harvest, the food is taken into the can, cooked within the can, the nutrients are preserved, there is no preservatives added. It is actually really simple, a really simple, healthy process. So it's not just about pulling something out and thinking, I'm just going to have beans on toast tonight. It's a really good food.
So I'm sorry, I'm about to be one of these ignorant people that you talk about.
I didn't say ignorant.
No, but I can be sometimes, so I'm talking about myself here. But I didn't realise that this food was cooked in the can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that true?
Canned food, yeah, completely.
I had no idea.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny, and I think it's just because it's so ubiquitous on our supermarket shelves. It's one of those things you don't ever really think about how it got there, because it's just always there, and it's always been there in our living memory. So maybe that's what it's about boiling down to. So the whole point of this week is really just to say to people, actually, this food is very nutritious, and in some cases, even more nutritious than fresh. So canned tomatoes, which I think is probably every family's staple right now, is higher in an antioxidant called lycopene, which is particularly protective for men against prostate cancer, I must say. So you should be having that in your diet. Yeah. Things like salmon, higher in calcium than fresh, because it's actually softening the bones because it's cooked in the can. But it's all about convenience, isn't it? Convenience, making things budget orientated, but nutritionally, it is great. It is totally fine.
Do you know what? I really am fascinated by this. So you did say earlier on that the canned foods were increasing in sales, but is that a cost-led decision rather than a nutritionally led one?
Well, I don't know, and it would be interesting to get to the bottom of that. I think they've grown by a full percentage point higher than the total sort of grocery market. And as you know, everyone's household spending is probably been squeezed a bit. So I would guess that the budget call is why that's happening. But actually, more and more, I'm having conversations with people, and we're maybe turning a little bit more continental finally in the UK, because if you go down to France or Spain, countries like that, canned food is not seen in the same light as it is here. There's a lot of delicacies that are only found in cans, and that they have a very different attitude towards it, especially in France. So maybe we're finally going, actually, this is just a really good way, a convenient way to eat good food.
That is really interesting. What about the types of foods that we should go for? Because, you know, I'm trying to get my family onto a slightly more healthier diet at the moment, actually, because I think I don't think we eat badly anyway, but I think we're just being more aware. We're trying to go a bit Mediterranean with stuff.
Oh, good.
Is that something that you can do with canned food?
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at vegetables. Pulses are really good. You know, your beans and your lentils and things like that. And because they're such a hassle, sorry, but they are such a pain to cook fresh. You've got to skim this stuff off the top of the pan, soak them overnight. I mean, it's just never going to happen in my family. I don't know about yours.
Yeah, no,
so,
that's right.
So being able to chuck them into a soup or something that you're already making, like a stew, a kind of one-pot meal, very good family food that ends up being really cost-effective as well. So there's that sort of cooking on the go where maybe it's not quite pre-planned, or if you're actually looking for more recipes and things, then genuinely the best resource is probably the website, which is cannedfood.co.uk. Tons of recipes on there. They can actually send you out a pack for your house for free. But also James Martin, the lovely James Martin, who I know what the ladies like, he's up there doing videos and things where you could almost serve some of this stuff as a dinner party. It is really, really, really nice and tasty. So he makes miracles happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we've had James on the show as well
he's
3 or
really
4
nice.
times.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy. So I guess the things to avoid then in terms of canned food, though, because there's a lot of processed meat and things like that in cans. Isn't there? I'm thinking of also numerous scares that have happened recently. Corned beef, I think, was one of the last ones. Those are not really ideal.
I mean, the canned food group, if you like, is really much more about the canned food in general rather than that one specific. So I can't really comment on that one. But in terms of health-wise, if you were trying to get healthier, then choose things in water or brine, for example, rather than in oil. You could avoid the syrup and go for low salt varieties. And that then means you're ticking most of the boxes, if not all of them, really, nutritionally. I mean, how many of you in your family? How many kids have you got?
So I've got 2 kids. I've got a 5-year-old little girl and a little boy who's 2, and then there's me and the wife.
Okay, so you're probably in baked beans, baked potato type territory right now, tuna pasta bake, stuff like that, where you're going to get the kids to eat it, it's going to buy into good food, but then you might start branching out a little bit, as I said, to lentils and pulses, which would be a really good way to do it. Canned vegetables, chopping up a little bit of green beans and with some of the tuna, and as long as you're not picking out the green bits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky actually, because my kids they're really open to all kinds of different foods. I mean, I'm astounded sometimes. Broccoli is just one of the most popular things in our house.
Great.
Which I think is unusual, but I'm genuinely excited about this, and I honestly. You've actually opened my eyes. I'm hoping
good.
there's a lot of people listening to this show that might actually rethink about this. I'm just gobsmacked that this stuff is cooked in the can. I can't get over it.
I think the main thing would be to, the challenge for you would be try and buy one thing new each week. That you're trying something new, because if your kids are willing to taste things, then you should build on that, but don't sort of chuck new stuff at them every day, but sample new things and get them to try new things. It just broadens their palate, but it also means nutritionally you're going to hit lots of, as I said, a nice broad range of nutrients as well, over and above sort of building up your cooking repertoire. So, but it sounds like you're doing a great job. Well done.
Yeah, well, you're getting there, definitely. And this, I'm sure, will help. So, Amanda, for anybody else that's interested, I think you mentioned the website earlier on, but what was it again?
It was cannedfood.co.uk. Nice and simple.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy one to remember that based on the subject matter. Amanda, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. What's your next project? Where are you going next?
What am I doing next? Well, I'm still on This Morning. We're just finishing up a family strand, as it's called. So that's finishing in May. And my book has just come out, which is called Eat Fast Slim, which came out in the press this week.
Yes.
It's in the shops, and it's all over the newspapers this week. So
yeah, it is. I've seen it, actually. Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, I didn't make the connection. But yeah, of course, that's yours, isn't it?
It is.
Superb. All right, well, listen, the best of luck with that. Really, I hope it goes well
much.
for you. And once again, thanks a lot for your time.
Okay, nice to speak to you.